Okay, we're back.
Yep. So
I just interrupted Jeb.
What?
I just interrupted Jeb.
Again.
No. I know. I do it a lot.
So you just saw us play a 2-player game of Mechs versus Minions. It went by actually pretty quick, just because I guess the way the cards came up.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't get to see a ton of gameplay, but I guess the big caveat is we really liked the game, and we actually played the next mission, and we recorded it, so that'll be coming up soon. So if you want to see more, it'll be up soon. And we plan to do the rest of the missions.
Oh yeah, because there's still a ton of envelopes yet that we haven't even touched, and we haven't won. I feel like this is going to be one of those games that we won't open anything until we actually beat the level that we're on. So I was I really liked it right out of the box. I'd kind of like to see how it what happens when you do 4 players, because I think the strategy maybe goes maybe is a little bit harder, because you've got to pay attention to, you don't want to take somebody else's card, and I think there's got to be like, okay, if I take this, then I'll be able to move here in front of this guy, or whatever the situation may be. So, you know, instead of us building up real quick because we got to take 2 cards a turn, all of a sudden we only get 1 card a turn.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until you told me, and I was like, oh man.
You get stuck with one of the, well, not stuck with, but
you know, yeah, it comes around and it's a rotate.
Turn 1, and all you have is a rotate card.
Yeah, what good are you?
Well, I guess I line up and hope that I get something that I can move with next time. Yeah. That's the kind of stuff I'm very curious about that we didn't get to see. Or even a 3-person game when one person's getting 2 cards every turn, and then the 2 other players are getting 1.
Yeah,
you know,
you definitely want to share. You don't want to like take everything for yourself in that case.
So that has my curiosity piqued, and as you know, Jeb already said, you know, we both really liked it, and the quality of the game is, for the cost, is out of the. I mean, inserts, all the plastic figures, painted main figures, metal components, linen cards. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Everything fits in the box. All kinds of content. All, you know. If you go online, you can find scenarios online that people have created. There's even, I even saw some stuff where it's like, you know how in the newspaper you see those chess things, and it says white moves in 3 moves, and then you have to figure out
they set up a scenario and you got to do it.
They have that. Yeah. They have the board set up. They give you like, I don't know, 6 cards on the side, and they say, this should be done, and I don't remember how it's worded, but it's very similar. I was like, oh my gosh, it's fantastic! All kinds of neat things with it. So yeah, I really like it. Okay, so I'm gonna say my only bad thing that I have to say, because I have a little bit of problem with customer service as of the recording of this video. I'm hoping that it gets solved, but I'm wondering if I have not pissed them off at this point in time. So. We are missing the gear rings. There's 2 gear rings that are basically trackers for the board. So I emailed him. I said, I didn't get my gear rings. Can I get them? And I get a reply email that says, you know, kind of standard. Oh, sorry about that. Blah blah blah. Can I have Can I get your packing slip and pictures of the game? And I'm thinking to myself, what? Well, what does that, first of all, what does that prove at all? If I wanted an extra set of gear rings, I'd put them in my pocket and take a picture of the game.
Right.
And what is the packing list? I gave him my tracking number. It was sent from my email address.
Yeah, the packing list is kind of...
And they wanted the tracking number and the order number. I gave them all of that, and this was in... I wouldn't say I had the game for more than 2 weeks before we cracked it open and played. Now, there'd be other situations where it'd kind of be my fault, because there's games on both of our shelves that are well over probably 2 years old that we haven't cracked open yet. And then I'd be like, okay, I'm out of luck if they don't want to do anything. But, I mean, this just came in. So at the time I wrote back, I said, well, I can't give you the packing slip. I threw that away. I mean, I'll take pictures of the game if you want. I kind of don't understand. And I can't do it now. I'm at work or wherever I was. So and then I hear back, and then the person's still going on. They're like, oh, well, we like to have pictures of what. I'm like, still doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't understand what that tells you guys. I mean, I sent pictures. Everything was sprawled all over the table because we had been playing. So I sent those pictures back. I don't hear anything. Then I get a survey that says, hey, how did this dude do? And I said, they stunk. I mean, what else am I supposed to say? I multiple times have emailed game companies when it's my fault that something's got destroyed, lost, damaged, whatever, and said, could I pay for a replacement? And they just send stuff. I don't think I've ever even paid anybody for a replacement. And I'm not saying if these, like I said, this is really high quality. Maybe their margins are pretty low and they need to keep a tight rein on it. I would have paid for the stupid things. I would have been a little irritated because they didn't come in the box that they like they were supposed to. But I'd like the game to be complete, especially when that component's kind of like the components in this are kind of next level. So I'd rather not use a coin that is supposed to be for a mech to track things, especially if I'm playing 4 players, when everybody needs their coin. Anyways, it's not resolved. I have no idea where it's going, but I'm like, somebody needs to teach these guys at least, who knows, maybe I'm dealing with video game side of the thing too. Maybe everything goes through the same, and they have, could be one of those situations, read the screen, this is what you do, I can't think out of the box. I have no idea what the situation is, but not happy about it. I just want my gear rings. Jeb just sat there quietly while I ranted.
Yeah, he had to get it out. So.
I did. So I hope that it gets fixed, and I'll shout it out if it gets fixed in one of the episodes, because we got a lot more. Scenarios to go through, and like I said, the game is. I mean, Gary's right. The game is really. It's really fun, I think, anyway. So, well, Jeff did too, so we had a lot of fun doing it.
When I read the rules, I was like, well, I don't know, like, it just didn't seem like it was going to be a difficult game. Like, just reading it, it's like, oh, you keep going, and then you'll win. And then we actually got to the scenarios, and I was like, oh, no.
No. Yeah, they didn't make this easy.
No. So, I mean, I appreciate that, because easy games are just kind of like, what's the point? So...
Yeah, and the way they, like, the programming of your computer and stuff like that, if you get it wrong, then you might have to spend multiple turns, like, like redoing something. Or if you're like, well, I think this is right, because that's kind of what you have to do at the beginning. I mean, I guess after you've played for a while, maybe you have, like, okay, I'm looking for this, I know this kind of works, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, it's kind of, I don't know, if you run into a scenario that it's like, oh, my standard build doesn't work, you start building in your standard build and you're like, oh crap. Because if you put a new color down, you wipe out everything. So you could have 3 cards down and you'd be like, I really have to get rid of, this area. I guess you could do that while it was, errored out. I don't know if you're allowed to do that or not when you have one of those flaws. I don't know how that works.
You can't put it on top of the flaw.
Yeah, I guess that would count as putting it on top of, even though you were trying to get rid of it.
Right.
So.
You have to repair it. One of the things for me was, like, in drafting games, or anything that drafts, I kind of have this feeling that I'm getting stuff that I want, and then I want to use it, right? In this one, once the game gets to a certain point, you don't necessarily want to be playing all the cards that you draft, and you can actually get rid of those cards for, like, rearranging or repairing effects, depending on which ones. So that kind of added another thing for me, because I was like, oh, well, not only do I have another option, it's like, oh, well, I got to kind of keep in mind that when I see that I need a repair, then I need to draft a card that has repair on the bottom, because there was a situation where I drafted it and it was like flip them, and I was like, oh, I got the wrong one.
Yeah. But it was that's actually a really I thought that was a very smart, like, mechanic wise to the game, because then, like you said, like once you're, like the cards aren't useless. Like you don't get to a point where it's kind of like, well, this is useless.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna get damaged, and you're probably gonna need to rearrange at some point in time. I don't think we've experienced that too much yet, because early on in the scenarios, and I could also see that being a way bigger necessity, maybe in a, well, I don't know if it would be more in a larger person game or a smaller person game. Maybe a little bit of both. I could see where it would be, like, you build up so fast in a two-player game that it'd be like, oh yeah, I've got to rearrange this stuff.
Yeah.
And then in a larger person game, I could see like, oh, the drafting didn't kind of go. I got stuff scattered all over the place, and now I need to rearrange.
Yeah.
You know, that type of thing.
Or with more people being on the board, when a ton of minions are coming in, there's more chances of you getting hit. So then you're like, gotta repair and stuff like that.
True. But. So yeah, but I don't have much else to say other than I can't wait to play some more of it, because it was really fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, and it's kind of like solving puzzles.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely a big part of it. And there's we still have so many envelopes, and then that thing in the box.
Oh yeah, the mystery box.
That there's like an axe coming out of. It'd probably just say, hey, you unlock this nice figure that you can put on your shelf.
It's probably like a boss that's going to be like, you're never going to beat this thing.
Takes up 4 spaces.
Yeah. Alright, so I think that's about it, right?
I think so.
Alright, so if you enjoyed the video, or if you want to check out other videos, we've got them. Just check out our channel. Leave comments if you have any.
Yeah, if we did anything wrong.
Yeah, if there's any suggestions for games you want to see. Like we said, we are going to be playing more of this and recording it, so those will come up eventually. Just got to make the time to play it. So, other than that, I think that's everything.
Although it's getting close to fall, we should be a little more steady.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Okay.
See ya.
See ya. Boards and booze, booze and boards with Mickey and Jeb.